Good evening, this is Bruce and welcome to my shop. It's now just on a week since I came back from California. As you see, I'm rugged up. It was down to about 4 degrees yesterday. Right now it's 60 US degrees, or about 15 C so it's 60 Fahrenheit at the moment, and I've come out of the 100 plus in the US last week. So I've been rugged up a bit, but at any rate, we'll get on with the show. And this is the shirt I wore at the bash, and this is a shirt I bought to support Stan's Summer Bash 2016, and I had my logo fitted to it at the last minute. And there's quite a few people that I need to thank for that successful trip of mine to the US, but we'll put that aside for the moment. We'll address that, and we will address it more as we go along. Needless to say, the whole thing wouldn't have come about without Stan and Stan taking on this this group of ours, the YouTube creators and their followers, and last year, and then that led on to this year, and I was privileged to be there. And I'm sure this will grow over time. There's lots of lessons we've learned, and lots of fun we've had, and so on. So I'll just bring that in a bit closer. Just hold on a second. Got a squeaky chair here, but anyway. So there's so much to talk about, but what I want to talk about today is just a quick one, a few thank yous, and there's lots more coming in. One to Tom Lipton, who gave me a tour of his shop and had to chase me out. We had a bit of fun there, and there's a movie up on that. And he also took me, Ray Goff and Ian Joseph, the three of us, through the Berkeley University, the areas that he's involved in, and that was extremely good. And some photos we're going to put together, and a movie going up on that as well. Keith, who supplied me with the new cap, I had a bit of a go at him that my cap had some blemishes on it, oil of course, but he was kind enough to drop another hat on my bald patch when we caught up at the bash. And Bob's banners, that's absolutely fantastic, Bob, what he's done. First of all, we all, us creators, got one of these. You see it there, the light in there. Anyway, from NAME, we were all bestowed these certificates, and that was absolutely fantastic. And together with that, Bob also provided me with this Australian flag and the US flag as well. Very high quality. That's made by Valley Forge, and Bob's banners were Bob's flags and banners, I should say. So if you want really quality stuff, go to bobsflagsandbanners.com, and he can certainly help you out. They did the big banner at the bash, and they provided me with these two beautiful flags. Ray Goff, of course, who was my chauffeur, and he took me around and looked after me through time. And Randy and Julie stayed at their place overnight, and we got up to some mischief in his shop, and later on in Ray Caniglia's shop down in Fresno as well. Ray also looked after me that night. and so on and so forth. There's just so many others. But at any rate, what I really want to talk about today is the Black Book. Now, some years ago, I think in 2004, Pat Rapp, a local guy here in Perth in Western Australia, compiled a book called the Engineers Blackboard, and this is now in its second edition. This is the Black Book. This was produced, I think, originally in about 2002, I should say. I've had this one since 2008, when I came back into the machining business. And this is very comprehensive, very good. It's my go-to book all the time. I have one in my truck, one in the workshop, and the special pages that don't get smudged, so you can clean them. They've got a special coating on them, and they've got all the items that a man needs to know, or man or woman needs to know in the workshop: tapers, saw blades, drill bit sharpening, and so on and so forth. All the sign tables, very comprehensive layman's terms for all the tips, for all the cutting tips and tungsten carbide tool holders, identification. That is really, really good, because most of the things we see are proprietary by companies that are selling, so they use their own language, whereas here Pat has managed to put together the real deal when it comes to that. So that's the Engineers Black Book. This is the second edition in Australia. That was followed after that. We brought out the Fastener Black Book, and this book was first produced in 2007. Pat put this one together, and this one is the first edition, and this is inch and metric. It's both. It's made for Australia, New Zealand specifically, but it's used in Great Britain as well, and all other countries. And that is extremely comprehensive, and it also comes with a little companion aluminium unit here, so you've got threads on the sides, metric and imperial, and hole sizes as well. That slides out, and you can use that as a quick reference. On the back is the thread pitch guide in metric and millimeters for all your quick reference threads, right on the back page. Bang, you pick it up, bang, you got your drill holes, and then far more inside. And then there's a drilling, tapping, and so forth. So this book, there's 240 pages in this book that's dedicated to fasteners. That's the second book that was produced. The third book that just came out recently in 2014 is the Black Book, the electrical book. This is also for Australia, New Zealand. This is the first edition, and this arrived in the mail courtesy of the Rapps. They sent this to me from here in Perth. This is the Australian edition, as I said, Australia, New Zealand, and that came along. I've yet to go through it deeply, but just by glancing through it, it is very, very comprehensive. Once again, on the back page, they have put some quick references, like in this case for resistors and capacitors. So very quickly, smartly, you don't even have to open the book, it's there. Same thing, all these pages are made that, and you've got the bulb sizes, the ANSI, and the common type of sizes, different plugs for different countries, and so on and so forth. Now, what's unique about this book is it arrived in a box. It arrived inside this box, and inside the box is also a little multimeter that came with it, and instructions on how to use the multimeter, and also it came with all these tabs. So you can now take the book and add the tabs to the book, to the pages, the relevant pages. So here, for instance, the safety, the codes and standards. So you could do tabs through this whole book for very quick referencing. So that whole package that comes in this the electrical black book is absolutely fantastic. Very, very well put together, like all the other ones that Pat has done. He's done an excellent job here. Now, so I thank them both, Pat and Rain, who's the American representative, for what they've given me. While I was at the bash, they came as a very late sponsor, and we didn't have time to really get into it with them. It was really the last minute. So Rain gave me some books, and I gave those out to most of our YouTube creators, and some I've still to organise, and we will be following up with others as well. And that's the American editions. So the 3 American editions follow the Australian formats, and this is the black book for engineers, this one, which is very, very similar to the Australian edition. This one here is really more for references and so forth for the United States. And it's all, once again, it's got very comprehensive coverage in that. I haven't gone page to page, but I'm sure that this is the same quality and the same references, good for America as well. Then the second book that they've American edition is the Fastener Book. Now this book is a bit thinner than the Australian book, simply because it doesn't have much in the line of the metric. However, I think it's only a matter of time because America has gone metric in the automotive industry and in many others. They are producing in metric. So the Imperial Fasteners will be collecting metric, just like the Engineers Handbook has gone metric quite some years ago. It's not just dedicated to Imperial, so it's only a matter of time. So there you have it, and what I can show you is if you want to purchase these books, I'll bring that in a bit closer. So it's the black book. That's all made here in Australia, compiled here. There's the three, and for you in North America, you can get in touch with Rain at that, or go to the website, and you'll be looked after, guaranteed. We got some heavy rain at the moment. We're in the middle of winter, but fortunately for Western Australia, we're like excuse me, the Middle East, like the Mediterranean. It's quite mild. We don't get snow here. Maybe hail sometimes. But now, the other thing, while I've got your attention, is while I was in America, of course, I flew the Australian flag quite a lot, and there's people who've got evidence of that all over the place. The other thing I did was, last year, I had a couple of items sent to me, boxed up and sent to me by Stan out of California. They gathered things in, and one of those items was this number 22 thread tap handle. We've also got another one, a number 8. we actually found we found the source for 2 of each, and so 2 came my way and 2 went to Adam Booth. Now Stan went crazy with his drilling and tapping and screwing in bodgy screws and so forth, and he just bear with me for a second, and he created a problem for me. He was testing me out to see if I could get her out, because he used some pretty heavy duty Loctite and so forth. So I'm not one to be left out on this, and when I on the night of the bash, or the night before the bash, I can't remember now, it was a bit hazy, I presented him with an item that I'd made for him, and I've left that for Stan to sort out, and I'll show you in a minute. Just bear with me and we'll get this sorted. We'll get this show on the road. Hold on. I'm getting there. I've been tricked by myself. I'll have to come back to you on that one. Suffice to say, everything was good, and I'll make another one because I'm running out of time here. This is going to take too long. So everybody, all the very best. Thank you, Naomi, for this lovely presentation. Thank you, Bob Spanners, and also thank you, the hardware store. They looked after me very well. Ray and I and Randy were in there, and a real old style family hardware store in Fresno, and we had a great time there as well. Thank you very much.